Hi gang, John here from Rock County Jet Ski, Watcon.com. Welcome to Watercraft Talk. On today's video, I wanted to take a little time and talk to you boys and girls about Solas Jet pumps. I've been getting a lot of interest in these again lately, and I've been explaining to people what we do and explaining how to build it or how I build it. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to make a video. I've got a jet pump sent in to us from a customer that I need to build, and I thought let's just follow along with the camera. Years and years ago, I wrote an article for Kevin Shaw of the Watercraft Journal. I did an article for him, a tech article with step-by-step instructions and pictures and everything, how we built it. We've changed things a little bit, and I thought, let's just do a video, and that way I can refer you guys and gals to the video when anybody is asking on how we build a pump. So first off, I want to start talking about, this is a Solas mag pump this is Yamaha Super Jet specific, not Kawasaki. This is Yamaha Super Jet and Super Jet only. Blaster or whatever. Solas makes a 144 millimeter 12 vein mag pump and a 148 millimeter 12 vein mag pump, and it would go in all years, Super Jet, Blaster, and aftermarket type hulls with the Yamaha driveline. We have found years and years ago that the bearing area of these was off. We were having bearing failures, and I think some of it is from misinstallation, but a lot of it was from just poor machining here. The tolerances on these were way off. They have gotten better from Solas, but we're still machining them. We had found that this to be tapered, and it was actually smaller, tighter down here than out here. I'm going to use the term press. Press is a term used to determine the amount of force needed to press in a bearing, right? The bearings we use in these are Japanese C3 spec bearings. I worked with the bearing manufacturer, consulted a bearing manufacturer, and for a stainless steel pump housing that stays relatively cool, we came up with the, what do I want to say, the minimum amount of press. So that would be the maximum diameter here that you could have for a C3, a certain spec C3 bearing. So what we started doing is these right out of the box, I measure them. We find that they're still out around, they're still tapered. They are much better than they were 10 years ago, but we still have to, we bore every single one of these. So if you purchase a Solas pump from us, I will do this service for you for free. We will bore this area. If you have a Solas pump and you need it done, if you bought it elsewhere, we can and will do that for you for a fee. Just reach out to us at the shop, send your pump in, and I will bore it to our spec. So this one is just freshly back from the machine shop, and once again, I didn't think about it. I should have measured it beforehand and showed you guys with the dial bore gauge how much it was off. Not that smart, and I took it to the machine shop and we bored it, and it's done and it's ready for assembly. So at least we talk about it, and you now know that this needs to be done. This one is been bored and it's cleaned and ready to go. So come on over, Owen, and I'll show you what we're doing here. I went to a local thrift store. I used the freeze heat method for building these. Right now I've got the drive shaft in the freezer, and it's been in there for hours, all day, and it should be good and cold. I went to a local thrift store, and this is just a fondue pot. It's just a hot plate with a little pot, and I fill it with some oil, and these have been cooking all morning. I got bearing soup. If you look here, we are at 335 degrees, roughly 338. Whoops. So what I do is I freeze the shaft and we heat the bearings. And I will show you, they go right on. I don't want you using any hammers or press or anything when assembling these. I do it all by hand, and it just goes like butter. Let me go grab the drive shaft quick. Sorry about that. All right, one very cold drive shaft. So, and I heard our vise thing here fall on the ground. Oh, we'll pick that up. So what I'm going to do now is we'll show you. I take this bearing out of the oil, and it is literally going to fall. If I can get it here. Put it on here. And it just falls right on there. No pressing, no hammering, no tapping, no nothing. Let that cool a little bit and it sticks. So we're on there. This one's next, back bearing. And that one just slides on. Again, like butter. No pressing, no tapping, no nothing. I'm going to let this cool. I'm going to put this in here. And the next step is grease. Okay, and we're back with the magic of television and editing. I took a little break and we let this cool. Not that it was super de-duper hot, but let it cool down so your bearings are on. I clean them and everything is ready to go. So I'm going to just show you. I use marine grade trailer wheel bearing grease. And I use a popsicle stick and I just start packing it in here until it comes all the way through. And we'll do some on the back bearing here as well. This is heavy duty, again, marine wheel bearing, trailer wheel bearing grease for boats is what I use. And like I see, so you can see it coming through. We pack it solid all the way around. Coming through. It's coming through nicely. So I'm going to continue with this and we'll be back when this is done. Okay, and once again we're back. I've got this all packed with grease. I figured I'd save you the boring details of me packing grease. I use my trusty popsicle stick, and as you can see, we are packed all the way through the bearings, front and rear, and then I fill the cavity between the bearings, pack a bunch of grease in there, and smooth it all out. That's it. It is ready to go. I just put a bag over it to protect it, and back to the freezer it goes. Okay, and once again, we're back. We are ready for assembly on our pump. The shaft and bearing housing have been in the freezer for a long time and should be good and cold. Before we do that, and I'm going to heat this up and we'll show that. And I mentioned a little bit about what we do. We bore this out to reduce press. The reason we did that is we were finding all too often we're having front bearing failures on these, and I think part of it is this was definitely off and tapered. It was actually too tight down in there. But I think a lot of it too is the assembly. If you take, so this is, I'm going to talk again, I don't know the spec off the top of my head. We did a lot of research and consulted with a bearing manufacturer, and we open this up, we bore this up, and and press is the difference between this and this. It's a specific amount, and it's a measured force to install this. What I believe is happening too with you guys out there are doing this incorrectly, and this is the reason I do this the way it does. If you think about this, your bearing is on the drive shaft, and you go to press it in here, you're pushing on the inner race, it's resisting on the outer race, so it's giving a side load. This is a ball bearing, and it's not designed for a heavy side load. And to press this from here all the way in is a long distance, and it's a lot of resistance, and it's fatiguing this bearing, and I believe we see a lot of bearing failures because you're damaging the bearing putting it in. So that's the whole reason why we've opened this up to the maximum amount that we can safely for a C3 spec bearing. I do the heat and cold, the heat and freeze method, and I do not recommend hitting anything with a hammer or using a press or anything like that at all. And you'll see when we do this that everything goes together by hand. And once it cools, you're fine. You're locked in, and it's fine. So with that, I'm going to start to heat this up, Owen. And I just use my MAP gas torch. I've been doing it like this forever, and I just start heating. You could put it in the oven, I suppose. I don't have an oven here. So I just do this, and I heat it inside and outside and front and back, and I check it with my temp gauge again and make sure we've got good even temperatures. So I'm going to keep doing this. I'll let Owen turn the camera on, and we'll be back again in a minute. Okay, and we're back. I have a little over 300 degrees all the way around. And it is fast cooling. So I want to do this quick. This is cold. 36. That's pretty cold. Take that out of there. I'm going to just slide this through here. And it should, I line it up, and you just give it a pull, and there it is. It's in. I spin it, let it cool. But yeah, it's just that easy. No hammering, no pressing with a press, just that easy. So I'm going to let that cool a bit, and we'll put our seals in. Okay, this is cooled off nicely now. The grease is thickening up very well, and I'm going to show you what we do to put the seals in. I have taken, this is an OEM washer wiper deal that goes behind the impeller on the Yamaha. I've stripped the rubber off from it, and I ground out the middle to use that kind of as a protector of the seals, and I just push with a pipe. So I've got our seals are all pre-greased, and I put a little extra grease in we got grease all over everything. A lot of times these just kind of push in pretty easily, and I just put this over that, and you can even push with your hand, and then just finish it off with the pipe. And that pushes in nicely. Get my washer back out of there. Come on. Sometimes it sticks with all the grease. Let me get I'm gonna go get a little scratch awl and dig it out of there. There we go. Seal number 2, same deal, is greased. Make sure you orientate them correctly. Push that in. Lub tap here. Could go a little further. In fact, I think I'm gonna go get a mallet, Owen, and we'll tap that down. Make sure that is centered. Easier to do it down on the floor, actually. That's why I've got these mats down here even. There she goes. There's your seal installed. Everything is nice and tight and smooth and easy. So now I will pack the rear cone with grease and install that, and we put the impeller on, and it's ready to go. So I hope you like that. I hope you find that informative. That's how we build a Solas Yamaha jet pump here at Rock County Jet Ski, watcon.com. If you need any help with that, please reach out. We've got bearings and seals in stock. We've got Solas pumps. And again, if you purchase a Solas pump from us, I will bore it for you for free. Please hit the subscribe button, like, tag, share, and follow. When you're out and about and on the internet, please be nice to each other. And the next time, we'll see you out on the water.